everyone.
Thank you for making it to the meeting, and we are looking forward for your class. I will make you the co-host in case you want to share the screen.
Yes, I do. Thank you. That'll be nice.
And okay, you're set. Over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Just give me 1 minute to get myself settled. Okay. Are you able to see the slide there? Just, okay, good. All right, so I will start with the prayers. Om Jnana Tamadasya Jnana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namah Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Satapitam Jena Bhutale Sevam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Savapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guran Vaishnamascha Shri Rupam Shri Gratam Saha Guna Raghunathan Vitam Matam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Prajana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vashakana Vitam Cha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगत पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तस्तु तप्त कंच गौरंगी राधा वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुति देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So my humble obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Marga Swami, and all the saintly Acharyas and the Vaishnavas present here, and to our beloved Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna. And also thank you to Her Grace Shri Radha Govinda for giving me the opportunity to speak. I'm not a very great speaker or scholar, so please forgive me for any shortcomings or mistakes. And thank you so much for joining today. Today, I will be speaking about the transcendental, exalted qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. So in our Vedic philosophy, Prahlad Maharaj's lifetime story has always inspired me. And today I feel so honored to be speaking about Prahlad Maharaj, a great soul born in the family of demons, an inspiring devotee of the Lord. I mean, he spent every moment of his life meditating on the beautiful form and transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. So some of the Prahlad Maharaj qualities are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam in many verses. For example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, 31 to 32, it states, the qualities of Prahlad Maharaja, the son of Hiranyakashipu, are described herewith. He was completely cultured as a qualified Brahmana, very good character, and being determined to understand the absolute truth. He had full control of his senses and mind. Like the super soul, he was kind to every living entity and was the best friend of everyone. Not only this, there are many references of Prahlad Maharaj in Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, text 31, 34, 38, and 40, and as well as Chapter 5, Introduction. So Prahlad Maharaj had numerous qualities, but I'm going to list a few of the qualities, and then I would like to speak briefly about them. And they are, Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee. He was fearless, had full faith in the Lord. He was compassionate to everyone. He had no interest in childish playthings. and he was free from pride. And he was a heroic preacher. He was a glorious Prahlad. So if we come to the next one, why was Prahlad Maharaj as a great devotee? If you look at in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Text 33, the sage Narada says that although born in a family of demons, Prahlad was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. In fact, it was because of Narada's spiritual instructions that Prahlad became a devotee. Narada enlightened Prahlada in Krishna consciousness when Prahlad was in the womb of his mother, Kayadu. Prahlada then constantly meditated on the lotus feet of the Lord and experienced great happiness. So Prahlada's devotional ecstasy as a 5-year-old boy is described by Narada. Says, because of advancement in Krishna consciousness, he sometimes cried, sometimes laughed, sometimes expressed jubilation, and sometimes sang loudly. So this is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Text 39. So these are the symptoms of a great devotee. Another reason is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, verse 20 to 21, lists 12 Mahajans. And Mahajans are great devotees of the Lord, recognized as leading authorities on Dharma. And Prahlad Maharaj is considered to be one of them. So according to Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 12 authorities, and they are all famous because they were all great devotees of the Lord. Now, these authorities are Brahma, Narada, Lord Shiva, Manu, Kapila, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka, Bhishma, Sukadeva Goswami, Bali, Yamraja, and the Kumaras. These personalities are still remembered because they were all great, stalwart devotees of the Lord. In the Garuda Purana, it is said to be more rare to be a famous devotee of the Supreme Lord in the age of Kali than to be a demigod such as Brahma or Lord Shiva. So this also makes a Prahlad Maharaj a great devotee. Another thing I want to mention is when Lord Narasimha Dev was so angry, even after killing Hiranyakashipu and his army, no one was able to pacify the Lord. Not Lakshmi Devi ji, not Lord Shiv ji, or Sage Narada ji, or Lord Brahma. Only Prahlad Maharaj was able to calm the Lord down because always Lord always reciprocated his devotees. After all the trouble Prahlad Maharaj went through in the hands of his cruel father, his faith in the Lord was very strong. This shows he is a great devotee, that he was able to pacify Lord Narasimha Dev that time. I'm sorry, my son is calling. Can we just stop the recording for a minute and we can continue?
No
I
problem.
have to take this call.
If we have any questions, we can put it in the chat box for her, and then she can answer them.
Sorry about that. I apologize. Okay. So, is everybody can hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we can.
Mataji.
Okay, okay. Okay, so I was talking about that Prahlad Maharaj was able to pacify Lord Narasimha Dev. And so why? Because Lord always reciprocate with his devotees. After all the trouble Prahlad Maharaj went through in the hands of his cruel father, his faith in the Lord was very strong. This shows he's a great devotee, that he was able to pacify Lord Narasimha Dev that time. So now we go to the next quality, which is fearlessness. Do I have the right slide? Just a second, sorry.
It says compassion.
Oh,
Now.
here we go, fearless. I think I must have clicked on it. All right. So now we go to the next quality is fearlessness. Prahlad Maharaj's father, Hiranyakashipu, considered Lord Vishnu his enemy. So knowing the fact that his son worships and favors Lord Vishnu made him very angry. He made many attempts to torture and kill his son. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, text 39 to 40, explains how Prahlad was tortured. The demon Rakshas, the servants of Hiranyakashipu, thus began striking the tender parts of Prahlada Maharaj's body with tridents. The demons all had fearful faces, sharp teeth, and reddish coppery beards and hair, and they appeared extremely threatening, making a tremulous sound, shouting, "Chop him up, pierce him." They began striking Prahlad Maharaja, who sat silently meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Prahlad Maharaj did not even try to protect himself. He was fearless in front of these ferocious, mighty demons. And these demons didn't understand why is he so fearless and jubilant and content despite the danger. So this infuriated the demons, but Prahlad Maharaj was always peaceful and blissful. How was that possible? Well, this brings us to the next quality, which is faith. Prahlad Maharaj has unflinching faith in the Lord, complete faith in the Lord's protection. He was never worried about anything in this world. He was never agitated, even when he was put in danger. He always meditated on the Supreme Lord. Thus, being always embraced by the Lord, he did not know how his bodily necessities were, such as sitting, walking, eating, lying down, drinking, and talking, were being automatically performed. So just like a child thinks that his father is always there to protect him, Prahlad Maharaj thought this is Father Supreme, Lord is always there to protect him. So we see that when Prahlad's material father, Hiranyakashipu, began torturing him, he was not mentally or emotionally disturbed because he was under the shelter of his spiritual father, Lord Vishnu. In spite of all his power, the mighty demon Hiranyakashipu was not able to do even a little harm to great Prahlada. Finally, Lord Vishnu appeared as Lord Narasimha Dev to please Prahlada and kill the demon. So expressing his faith completely in the mercy of the Lord, Prahlada said, "Nothing is unobtainable for devotees who have satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes, the original source of everything." And this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, verse 25. So in this past time, we also see that Prahlad Maharaj is very compassionate. It's revealed to us when Lord Narasimha Dev killed Hiranyakashipu and asked Prahlad Maharaj for benediction for him. So what did Prahlad Maharaj ask for? He begged the Lord to forgive his father for all his sins. No, Prahlad Maharaj did not have a revengeful mind. He had compassion for all the living souls. Just like the Lord doesn't consider anybody his enemy, he didn't consider anybody his enemy because he was spiritually inclined. He was compassionate about all the living entities suffering in this material world. He wanted them to take shelter of the Lord. And Lord is very merciful. His devotees are very merciful. So the sinful demon got purified just by the touch of Lord Narasimhadev. In Srimad Bhagavatam, again in Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 43, it states, O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. For whatever I say, I'm fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I'm simply concerned with love for them. He did not fear this world because he was always taking shelter of the Lord. He again and again proved to Narasimhadev to free everyone from their suffering. So this was his compassion. So when we are child, we like to play, we like to explore new things. We get so immersed in this material world. We use this desire to spend that time playing, exploring new things. Even when we grow up, we have desires for different things as our hobbies or sports or activities. But Prahlad Maharaj was not like that. When he was a little, he would actually persuade his classmates that do not waste time in these material activities. Rather, always sing and chant glories of the Lord. His soft-spoken living words would persuade them and they would listen to Prahlad Maharaj. But these material desires are temporary. They're never going to satisfy our heart and give us endless happiness. I mean, we like to enjoy life by watching movies, listening to songs, watching online videos, being on Instagram, talking about politics, or even engaging in idle gossip and so on. But these don't bring joy to our heart. They don't bring satisfaction to our heart. Prahlad Maharaj was so connected with the Lord, he has experienced that endless pleasure, that full satisfaction. No desire for anything other than this to share that kind of treasure and be so compassionate for soul to have this treasure. He was not wasting any time. So when he was preaching to his classmates, he explained how much people are wasting their time, assuming that a human being lives for 100 years. One wastes half of one's life in sleeping, so one has just 50 active years. In childhood, one passes 10 years in ignorance. In boyhood, another 10 years are wasted in playful activities. In old age, one becomes invalid, is not able to perform any material activities. So how will he perform spiritual activities? In this way, another 20 years are wasted. So one has only 10 active years. But unfortunately, these are also lost in earning money and taking care of household activities. So Prahlad asked his friends not to waste their lives in sense gratification. Instead, they should immediately start practicing practicing devotion to God, and they were convinced. It's very dry in Calgary here. Anyhow, so Prahlad was always in bliss because he was always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So pure devotees of the Lord enjoy every moment of their life to the fullest because they find joy in spiritual activities like chanting the names of Krishna, hearing about Krishna, and worshiping the deity of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the lives of great devotees like Prahlad have been described so that we can learn from their lives and apply that knowledge in our own life. So going on to the next quality, So what else can we learn from Prahlad Maharaj? Transcendental quality, which is the next one is pride. Prahlad Maharaj had no pride, no tinge of pride. I mean, he was the son of the emperor of the universe, Hiranyakashipu, had immense wealth, but he lived like an ordinary child. He never considered himself above or superior to others. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, verse 31 to 32, it says, to respectable persons, he acted exactly like a menial servant. To the poor, he was like a father. To his equals, he was attached like a sympathetic brother. And he considered his teachers, spiritual masters, and older god brothers to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prahlad was even always respectful toward his father, who insulted and tortured him. Like I said earlier, he never considered anybody his enemy. So Prahlad Maharaj was prideless. So next quality is Prahlad Maharaj, that he's heroic. Now, Hiranyakashipu was a very fearful demon leader. Even Lord Indra was scared of him, despite of all this, where nobody's allowed to talk about Lord Vishnu. Prahlad Maharaj was talking about Lord Vishnu. He risked his life for that. He was preaching to his classmate about Lord Vishnu. Now, only that he even tried to convince his own father and try to teach him Krishna consciousness. He tried to make his father understand that he would never be able to kill the Lord. He would tell him that all his strength came from the Supreme Lord. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 8, Text 7, it says, my dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength for everyone. Without him, no one can get any strength, whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior. Everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Hiranyakashipu tried his best to kill Prahlad, and Prahlad Maharaj tried his best to make Hiranyakashipu a devotee of the Lord. So he was a fearless preacher. He was not afraid to preach. So the next quality is the glorious Prahlad. Glorifying Prahlada. Sage Narada says, in any assembly where there are discourses about saints and devotees, O King Yudhishthira, even the enemies of demons, namely the demigods, what to speak of you, would cite Prahlada Maharaj as an example of a great devotee. And this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, verse 35. Prahlad had many qualities, so he's celebrated as one of the great devotees of the Lord. He shunned all material desires and took complete shelter of Lord Vishnu, who appeared as Lord Narasimhadev, the protector of all sincere devotees who are rare in this world. And Prahlad Maharaj is one of the great devotees. Just want to share some additional information here. From authoritative scripture, it is learned that Prahlad Maharaj still lives in Vaikuntha as well as within this material world on the planet Sutala. This transcendental quality of existing simultaneously in different places is another qualification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Goloka eva nivasate akhilatamma bhutaha. This is, the Lord appears in the core of everyone's heart, yet he exists on his own planet, Goloka Vrindavana. A devotee acquires quality almost the same as of those of the Lord because of unalloyed devotional service. Ordinary living beings cannot be so qualified, but a devotee can be qualified, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not in full, but partially. So this concludes my little presentation of qualities of Prahlad Maharaj, and I will leave the platform open for anybody for any realizations, questions, comments, or any ideas they would like to share. Do so. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarva Mangala Devi. I like that conviction with which you presented this. Well, my question is something related to a discussion you and I had as well in the past, and I'd like to know your realization, connection to Prahlad's quality of faith, as you presented about how he had that unflinching faith, implicit faith. My question was like, with all the strange things that's happening in the world, there's a natural tendency to think, what is the Lord doing? Why is the Lord not interfering? And I was thinking similarly, like when Prahlad was very young too, Hiranyakashipu was torturing all these demigods and bothering a lot of people. So Prahlad must have witnessed that too. And we don't see much Shastric descriptions of how his faith remained unwavering in the midst of other people being troubled. Because, he says at one point, I'm not worried for myself, I'm worried for the fools and rascals of this world, Prahlad says. So my question is something related to what has been your realization? What would it mean for us, for me, on my level, to have that faith, even though I may see, in quotes, injustice or very unfair things happening to others?
Yeah. So, I mean, we can learn from Prahlad Maharaj. He was always meditating on the Lord, always chanting his glories. And, in this age of Kali, Srila Prabhupada has given us this Maha Mantra. This Maha Mantra is very powerful. And anytime I know we are taught, being in a devotee association, we're told that, chant this Maha Mantra whenever you're feeling so disheartened. And I think you have to have this faith. And with my life experiences, I have felt that because my faith in Lord Krishna has helped me overcome a lot of difficulties. And our Vedic scriptures really help us when it states everywhere that Krishna knows best and he never makes mistakes. So even if we see all these things happening around us, why is this happening to this particular person? Why doesn't Lord stop? For instance, I was very upset about I'm still upset about the war in Israel and Palestinian. It's like, why is it not stopping? There are a lot of things that we are not aware of what's going on. He knows everything. He knows everything. So by Prahlad Maharaj's life, we can learn this lesson that he never deviated from this. He had full faith in Krishna. And I think we should learn from it and we should keep our faith in Krishna. And we should chant his glories. We should chant our Maha Mantra. And we know that Krishna can never make a mistakes. We might see something that is happening, it's disturbing us, but you just keep on chanting, keep on having this faith. Other thing I just want to share, when you said in your life, I mean, we were going through a court case for 4 years, and it was very stressful, very stressful. And I mean, my husband was the one who was handling most of the time, but I would chant, but he was so disturbed, but he never left his chanting. I mean, he would come very late from work, and then he had to deal with this court case, and he would make sure he finishes his rounds. And we had full faith in Krishna. We know what's happening to us, it's not right, but we had faith in him. And at the end, we were saved. I mean, we didn't lose much, we didn't gain much, but we saw Krishna's hand in it. And there are many incidents in our life. I mean, my life it is. So going back again, Prahlad Maharaj, we have to learn from his life. A 5-year-old child who didn't let go. I mean, his own father is torturing him, literally torturing him, throwing him in the fire, throwing him in the pit of snakes, pushing him off the cliff. And God knows there was so much torture, but he didn't stop chanting the name of the Lord.
Wow. That's very powerful about personal life situations. sometimes there is the tendency to think, oh, it's not working, chanting is not working, I'm going to stop, because difficulties are still there. This is a good point. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada used to say that if you're worried and your heart is not settled, then chant even louder. So you chant louder. You are calling your father. You are calling Krishna for help. And he listens. He sure does. I mean, we want something else coming, the outcome, we want this outcome. But what we want is not, like you said one time in one of your sessions, that Krishna doesn't give you what you want. Krishna gives you what you need. He knows best.
And I'm going to do something in that time, right? Lament, cry, do something. Instead, cry for the Lord. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, recently I had some unfortunate incident, and I had two options: either to think about it, rethink about it, brood over it, lament, or just chant. Just go do the things, go do Bhagavatam, go chant. And then, so it's the good point, right? Like, what will I do sitting down? I have to do something. I'll do something.
Yeah, you get over it then. After you lament, you get angry, you're upset, you're disturbed. It's like, okay, uh, it's out of my system. What is
Right.
the best thing to do now? Krishna.
Yeah.
If it's chanting, or if it's going on the harmonium, doing some kirtan, yeah, or listen to Srila Prabhupada's lecture, anything. That's what I did. That's what I did.
Nice. Anybody else has any other comments or questions for Sarva Mangala?
But I'm really glad we're doing these sessions on Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah.
Very inspiring, great devotee of the Lord, 5-year-old child, and all the trouble he went through. But then again, all the associates of Lord Krishna, when they come to the material world, they go through a lot of austerities. I was thinking of the Pandavas, Draupadi. I mean, no doubt they are associates of the Lord. I mean, they go through so much trouble. And when we get a little bit of trouble and we get so upset. But we are very, very thankful to Srila Prabhupada. Very, very thankful. Otherwise, we would be so lost and full of anxiety.
Yeah. True, true.
It's an amazing knowledge. And like Srila Prabhupada used to say, it's this science of God, and it's much, much more. And when you experience it, this Krishna consciousness in your life, and you see some results, and your faith goes even more stronger that, this is it. I'm on the right path. Krishna is it. We have to totally surrender to Krishna and leave it to him.
Yeah, the path, right? The path is the point, but we want the goal immediately.
Yeah.
The mind wants the goal. I'm on the path. Why am I not reaching the goal? Well, we are on the right path. It's going to take time.
Yeah, it's going to take time. And what helps me is Srila Prabhupada's lectures. And Srila Prabhupada has said that you just do what I tell you. I've given you everything. You just follow it, and I'll make sure you reach there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll make sure you come to Krishna. So,
yeah, without Guru, right? Guru is the one who guides us and says, don't worry, keep going, keep going. Because Krishna, he's there. That's a destination. We will
yes.
immediately intervene, but the Guru will intervene and give us that faith. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Srila Prabhupada is a Param Guru, and then it's really important to know your Guru and to how to select your Guru. Because my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Mar Swami, I wanted a Guru who is more practical and whom I can approach, gurus like His Holiness Radhanath Swami, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. It's it's kind of difficult to approach them if you have any difficulties. I select His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj Swami because he would come to Calgary once or twice or even 3 times a year. And I wanted a very close relationship to a guru, that if I have any problems or issues, I can approach him and he's there. And by God, Maharaj is there, definitely, and he guides. So it's very important. Yes, it's very important to have a guru too. Yeah. We can't go to Krishna without the guru. You will never reach Krishna without guru.
Right. Yeah, and not just guru, like we put in the altar and worship, but like you say, sometimes we need to go and tell, this is the trouble. What do you suggest? What do I do? Relationship, right? The relationship.
Yeah. And our Guru Maharaj, to be honest with you, he's very friendly. And I'm not saying anything, but I'm sure all the other gurus are in our parampara, they are wonderful, and he's very caring, and when he comes, it's like a group hug. And the first time he was doing it, I was shy, but he was like, no, 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 come, let's everybody hug. And
Yeah.
we do a group hug. When Guru Maharaj comes, I make his lunch sometimes when he comes, and one time he just got up and started serving us.
Yeah.
I was like, no, Maharaj, and he says, no, 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 let me serve you. And it was very interesting, and he was very friendly. It's not like you're in, sometimes I see some devotees are with their guru and they're really quiet and calm. With Guru Maharaj, it's more, he's
Yeah.
our guru, but he's also like our friend, our guide. And it's very nice being in association of my Guru Maharaj. I felt it because when he was here one time, I was like, why am I in a happy mood? Why am I so in a happy mood? And I realized because of my guru. He's in a happy mood. Not that to say that he doesn't get upset, he does, but he has said that if you're in Krishna consciousness and you're depressed and mopping and so serious, then you're not in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, you're happy. You're serving the Lord. You know who God is. There's a lot of people in here don't know who God is, and we are very lucky. So it's been a great experience, definitely.
Yeah, we all have a nature, right? We all look for a specific quality in a guru.
Yes.
And it gives us that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Prahlad Maharaj, I would say his guru would be Sage Narada.
Yeah.
Sage Narada gave him all this knowledge. And it's amazing that he heard in the womb of his mom, and he was always glorifying the Lord and trying to teach his classmates. And being in an environment like that, when people are so afraid of Hiranyakashipu, they're so fearful of him. And there's this 5-year-old kid, he's not scared of anything. He's fearless, and he's still preaching, still preaching. In one of the pictures where his father is trying to throw him off of his lap because he's glorifying the Lord and he's throwing him off, like, being mistreated that way. But he kept calm. That's why he's a great devotee. I mean, we are still trying to be a devotee. I will never say I'm a great devotee. We're still trying to be a devotee.
Yeah, I like that point. Because sometimes I say, I'm a devotee. Why Krishna is not saving me? Well, I'm trying to be a devotee. That's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. And Krishna is saving us. We don't even know some of the things that he knows. God knows what he's saving us from all the time. We think he's not. Like I said, in my lifetime, when I got into Krishna consciousness, there's so many incidents. I thought Krishna doesn't really care. It's just, he doesn't care. But things come into your life and certain things are being revealed to you, and you realize, wait a minute, I'm a fool, actually. I am a fool, because if this would have happened, I would have been suffering this way. So if this happened, which I really didn't want it to, but it happened, but it saved me. So So that helps, you know, when you sit down, all these things happen, you sit down and you analyze and see what actually Krishna is doing. He's doing something for us, but we just don't realize it. We don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
So,
you so much. This was so, like I said earlier, very conviction, that great conviction that you conveyed to us is very inspiring and really
thank you.
grateful. Thank you. Look forward to hear from you again.
For sure. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I just want to thank everybody being here and listening to me, and everybody's being very quiet.
I want to give a lot of feedback to Sarva Mangala just before we end. What did you like about her class?
Yes, please do speak. So are we doing this live?
Mataji, very inspiring to see your faith.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Srila Prabhupada. It's Jai Srila Prabhupada. Couldn't have done it without Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So challenges are in our life, but we'll make it. I mean, I have Vaishnavis who'll come and say to me, I'm going through this difficult time and I can't concentrate. And I'll say, yeah, it's hard, but nothing lasts forever. It's gonna pass. So you know it's gonna pass. You know you're in Krishna consciousness. We have the knowledge. Just don't stop chanting. Chant. Even if you can't pick up the mala, I would tell them just chant in your mouths or sing. You know, anything related to Krishna consciousness that helps you, just do it.
Any other feedback?
Are we still recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you for sharing your realizations.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Thank you. We will conclude here.
Yes, thank you.
Ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Preeti,
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Preeti Mataji says, wonderful class, Mataji. Thank you.